red light came on.
Yep.
What are you doing?
I see the copper.
He's a happy boy. Hi. Hey there. What you doing?
Where's Lizzie?
Lindsay's coming. She's jealous. She heard me talking to Copper.
So yeah, this is what our living room looks like right now. To be honest, it's kind of looked like this for a couple months.
Our bumper is a centerpiece.
Yeah. We had the bumper in here, then we took it out to paint it with all the other parts, and then brought it back in here. But yeah, this is the rear crash bar, which I went to one of the junkyards to get just like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, when we started this whole Cayenne rebuild, originally we thought we would get basically everything from just Cayennes we found in junkyards, but kind of ended up being the opposite. Like the front bumper, the rear hatch, like all of those I just ended up buying off of eBay. And then other small parts and stuff we needed, I just got at the dealer, like some exhaust mounts and like the hood latch bracket. And there's actually a piece on the rear bumper that I ended up getting at the dealer too. And then now this rear crash bar is the only thing got at the junkyard, which is kind of funny because I ordered a rear hitch because we originally had a rear hitch, like the Kurt brand. But with everything with the coronavirus, just everything's moving slowly. It's on back order, but so we might even not end up having that on the car for too long, but yeah, we're ready for this to be done. It's getting close. Yeah, you can kind of see the difference in paint, but front's pretty much finished. You're just gonna take the front bumper off one more time to adjust some of the headlights, and then the other thing is all the fender liners. Just haven't put those back in yet. But yeah, the front of this thing's pretty much done. And yeah, this is just like this aftermarket stuff for the rear hitch, but until we get the new hitch, I guess it'll just kind of be in limbo. And honestly, they need some wiring repairs on that thing anyways. The rear, I have one piece that just bolts on right here that the rear bumper attaches to, and then we got these 4 bolts on either side that hold that rear crash bar. And then the rear bumper and pretty much all the aesthetics on this thing will be done, other than just finishing up the exhaust on it. And then we've got our gold Cayenne in the garage here. On the lift, on our jack stands, not the lift. But yeah, we replaced the rear drive shaft. It was kind of a pain. That video will be coming out soon. We also did the front brakes, calipers and pads and the sensors, which to be honest, the brakes on these are a little more difficult than you'd expect, just because they're so heavy duty. And then one of the other things is, you know, most brakes you can just unbolt the caliper and just move it out of the way and like hang it from suspension or something. But the problem with these is that the line that's actually going to the caliper is like a hard line. So if you just unbolted the caliper and tried to move it, you'd be bending that hard line, which can mess with the integrity of it. So you actually have like a bolt that holds this bracket on, and then the brake line that's behind the spindle here, that's like a normal brake line that's flexible. So you got just a little extra work before really being able to move this caliper out of the way. Well, we got that done, and honestly the brakes and the pads on this usually last a really long time. And then the last thing we were going to do to this is actually just these the front lower control arms. Just going to be replacing those, which we actually have done that on the red Cayenne before. There was a lot of stuff we did on the red Cayenne before I started this YouTube channel with all these like how-to videos, but that was one of the things we did. We did the lower control arms and the upper control arms on the front, and my dad was driving it at the time, and he said that as far as like the way it felt when he drove it, that made a big difference. So yeah, those bushings in the inside particularly, they just start wearing out, and like the bolts that go through that sleeve can sometimes be rusted together, because we had an issue with one of the ones on the red Cayenne. So I'm hoping that these will go well for us, and that'll be it for this gold Cayenne. We can get this thing out of here. I just got in the Mazda. I've actually really been enjoying driving the Mazda lately. Just did a bunch of stuff that is kind of maintenance type things. I mean, this thing's still bone stock besides the motor mounts, which is why it's a little noisy in here. But yeah, I replaced like the blower motor and the blower motor resistor, because the blower motor wasn't working and that kind of sucked. Did a video on that, and then flushed like the brake fluid recently, which just normal stuff that some people might overlook, and then replaced the alternator belt and tensioner. But yeah, just been enjoying driving this car, because I'm able to drive it hard knowing that it'll be alright, because it's still bone stock, so it's kind of hard to break something that's not pushing the limits. But yeah, something that does suck is that just got this crack here like a couple of days ago, and funny thing is, just had the windshield replaced 2 months ago, because there was a rock that hit over here, and the crack just, it was a much bigger crack that came out to here. But yeah, it was kind of funny because the car was parked when that happened. It was just parked near a busy street, and a rock came off a car that way and caused this big crack. And then obviously this one, like most rock chips happen, was just on the highway. And someone with knobby tires just flung a rock. I mean, it's whatever, I'm not too upset about it, but it's just kind of funny. Went all this time with the original windshield, and then now having to replace the windshield twice in 2 months, so it is what it is, just one of those things. But yeah, been enjoying driving this car. It's almost gotten to 100,000 miles, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, it's actually been really reliable, but I'm sure that has something to do with just the fact that it's still basically stock and haven't done much to it. But eventually, after I finish all these things planned I have for the 350Z, I do want to start modifying this thing, so be excited for that. But yeah, that's kind of what's up with all the cars right now. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, it helps us out. And yeah, I'll have some videos coming soon. Like I have the video for the alternator belt and tensioner on the Mazda, how-to video on that, and a how-to video on the rear drive shaft for the gold Cayenne. So yeah, keep a lookout for those. And yeah, appreciate it. See y'all later. Peace.